Back. This is Susan Milner, also known as McCartney Green, and TGIM. In other words, thank God it's Monday! Exclamation point. Another new beginning to give us another chance to get it right. So here we go. Let me see if I can get this right. We are on book number 14, DND number 14. In case anybody doesn't know what DND means, it stands for Dandelions Never Die, which was sort of a theme in book number 1. So D&D number 14, Such a Time as This, in Jesus' name, chapter 15. It is January 18th, Saturday afternoon, Keno Estate, Crystal Cove, California. Eric Keno smiled at the two people who currently graced his home, Alo and Danny Quinn. He already loved them. They were quiet and humble, intelligent, and filled with God's light. Eric glanced over at the Quinn's adopted daughters, Raylyn, the eldest, who was sitting next to Eric's grandson, JoJo, and Kay Lee, the youngest. She was a wild spirit, a strong spirit, and had temporarily lost her way, but was now back on the right path and coming into her own. Also present in the room was the rest of JoJo's family. Mark and Bella, little Emily, Logan and his girlfriend Melody, and last but not least, Ryder Bell, a young homeless teen that they'd taken off the streets just before Christmas. Eric's eyes, oh goodness. Eric's eyes shifted to his wife and their 5 little ones, who were currently sitting on the floor with Emily, being very quiet and very well behaved. Shelley smiled at him. He sighed with pleasure. His heart was full. "Thank you so much for the delicious lunch," Danny Quinn said. "Oh, you are so welcome," Shelley replied. "I admit I was nervous about cooking for you, but Bella is a gem in the kitchen and she helps me a lot, so it was really her who did most of the cooking." "Why were you nervous about cooking for us?" Danny asked. "Well, I'm not known for being a great cook," Shelley said. She shrugged. "I try, and I've gotten much better than I used to be, but it's a struggle." "She does fine," Bella added. "The only thing she lacks is confidence." Danny smiled. "It looks like you have a wonderful relationship with your daughter-in-law." "Oh, I do," Shelley said. "She's a gem, and so is my other daughter-in-law, who happens to be Bella's sister." Danny smiled. "Aw, your sons married sisters? Oh, that is special." Shelley nodded. "It is wonderful, and I love those 2 young ladies as if they were my own daughters." "I can sense you have a huge heart, Shelley." "That she does," Eric said. He looked up as Jeffy came down the stairs and entered the room. Jeffy smiled. "Well, Elijah is finally sound asleep for his nap. Cam called to check in and let me know he's good and is gathering lots of information and witnesses to the bad cop's doings. He has some offers of loyalty and things are going well and happening quickly. And that means I'm free to come down here and join you guys. Sorry the baby made such a fuss at lunch." "Oh, no need to apologize. Babies are wonderful," Alo said. As if on cue, little Angelina Keno rose from the floor where she'd been looking at a book. She carried the book and came to stand in front of Alo Quinn. She smiled her adorable smile. "Is you Ray and KK's daddy?" Alo smiled and nodded. "Yes, I am," he said. "Is you my daddy's brother?" He chuckled. "In some ways I am." "Can I sit on your lap?" "Angel," Shelley began, but Eric caught her eye and shook his head. Alo smiled. "Well, of course you can." He lifted her up onto his lap where he sat in his wheelchair. Angelina smiled and leaned back against his chest, and she didn't move. She didn't fidget. She sat quietly. It was as if she knew. Jeffy smiled. "She's drawn to you, Mr. Quinn. She can see your light." Alo smiled and ran his hand over the child's long, silky curls. "So, beautiful Quinn family," Eric began, "we have much to talk about. Raylyn told us your story about when you were 10, Alo. It was a beautiful story. Were you able to read the book that I sent you?" "Oh, yes. Danny and I have read your story several times now. You are a remarkable man, Eric, and we are in awe of you." Eric frowned. You and I are the same." Alo shook his head. "Oh, no, we're not the same. Last night, before I went to sleep, Jesus spoke to me. He told me when I come here to listen to you, to defer to you. You are the leader of the 12. I'm not quite sure what that means, but that's what he said. I'm sure of it." Eric's eyes moistened. "Well, I do know what that means, what the 12 means. And it is what I was getting ready to speak to you about. Alo nodded. Good. Jesus told me that you set the example. You were the strongest. You made it happen. You were the most humble. You were the hardest worker. He said he was so proud of you and that I will soon work with you to bring many others relief and love and comfort. Eric nodded. Well now, that is a beautiful message, Alo, and thank you for that, though I'm not sure about the strongest or the most anything. Alo chuckled. And Jesus told me that he sent the message through me because you would not hear it otherwise. The others in the room laughed softly, and Mark squeezed Bella's hand because just last night they talked about how blessed they were to have Eric in their lives. JoJo glanced at Logan and they smiled. They'd always felt such a strength and power coming from their grandfather, and they were glad that Jesus himself was giving him a pat on the back. It was the well done he'd said many times he hoped he'd get one day. So, Eric, Alo said, tell me about the leader of the 12. Eric nodded. Well, as I told you on the phone last week, we found Reverend Clark, and he too has a similar story. You'll get to meet him tomorrow at church. So, that is you and myself and Reverend Clark, who, at the age of 10, went missing for 3 days, almost died, were visited by an angel, and taught by an angel. Each story is a little different. I was in an underground cave. Reverend Clark was on top of Mount Shasta, and you were in a bubble by a creek, unable to walk. I have just learned of 2 more. A man, an Aboriginal man down in Australia named Seth Iman. He was lost near Glasshouse Mountain, which is in eastern Australia. And a man in Kansas named Thomas Sawyer who was sucked up into a tornado with his baby sister. He is the CEO of Pure Foods. So that is 5 so far. And now we've been given confirmations that there are 12 of us. So that means we will find 7 more somewhere, somehow. Amazing, Danny said. I wonder what the Lord has planned for you. Eric nodded. I wonder the same thing. Last year, just a few months ago actually, I was out walking on the beach and I wondered if there were others like me, others who'd actually seen an angel as a kid and it changed their life direction. Only a few months later, we found Reverend Clark, and now here's 3 more. It's amazing and exciting. Alo frowned as he thought, my girl set me up with a computer and internet, and I received a message to accept the gifts. Eric nodded. I know that you have facilitated all of that, Alo said, so thank you again. Eric waved it away. But I'm bringing it up because I started a little YouTube channel, and I've been speaking online looking for people who might need to be ministered to. And in one video, I told my story. I decided it was time to stop being fearful and put myself out there. Well, just a few days ago, I received an email from a man all the way up in Norway. He said he wanted to share with me a similar story, a story like mine. And I told him I was going out of town and I would get back with him in a few weeks. I wonder do you think he might be another one? Eric smiled. Well, he might be. Do you have his information where you might be able to reach out to him? Oh, well, I didn't bring my computer with me. You don't need your computer, Dad, Kaylee said quickly. You have a cell phone. Do you know your YouTube login? He nodded with a grin. Oh, yes. I have the YouTube app all set up on my phone, he said proudly. I used my computer to find out how to do that, and I use it to make videos. Kaylee nodded. Well, that's awesome. And you have email on your phone, too, so you can go to your email, get his information, and reach out to him. Eric smiled. Wonderful. Let's reach out to him sometime today. Alo smiled. Well, this is exciting. Oh, it really is, Shelley said. I wish we could find them all and get them all together. But Norway and Australia, it's a long way to come. Eric nodded. It is, but we can make that happen easy enough. Let's see first if we can find them all. We still have 7, or maybe only 6, that we need to find. Jeffy closed her eyes. You will find them, though there's a problem with one, she sighed. But that problem has a solution. There will be 12. There will be 12. She opened her eyes. I just received that information and also something else. She turned and smiled at Alo. Mr. Quinn, I have a personal question for you, and please just tell me to mind my own business if it's too personal, or we can talk another time privately if you'd like, but What do the doctors say about your legs? What do they say is your condition? Alo nodded. It's not too personal, but I don't have a straight answer. At first, they thought it was caused by Guillain-Barré syndrome because I did have the flu before I lost the use of my legs. But then another doctor said I had a stroke, though an MRI does not show that. They've also tossed out words like multiple sclerosis and ALS and even polio. Jeffy frowned. Can you move them at all? He nodded. Sometimes. I have to concentrate very hard, and I might get them to shift an inch, maybe at most. She nodded. Can you try for me? He smiled. Sure, I'll try. Angelina, come here, sweetie, Eric said softly. She immediately jumped down off Alo's lap and ran to her father. Alo drew a deep breath. He pulled the blanket off his legs and stared down at them, concentrating very hard. Everyone was quiet as Alo Quinn tried to will his legs to move. And after a full minute, he shook his head. I'm sorry. I can't. Maybe I'm too tired. Jeffy smiled. It's okay. Traveling day is always tiring. So, just one more question. May I read you? Read me? She nodded. I've been given a gift. Sometimes, well, most times, I can read your body and diagnose. Oh, well, how can I turn down that offer from a Nobel Prize-winning doctor? What do I need to do? She stood and smiled and shook her head. Not a thing. I'm just going to hug you. I'll circle around behind you and put my arms around you for a minute. I might lean my head next to yours. It's better for me if you don't move. Again, no one spoke as Jeffy did her thing. She sighed and sniffed and finally pulled away. Her eyes met her father's. Well, everyone, I want to tell you what I was shown, but before I do, Jesus has just directed me to do something. Men, Dad, Mark, JoJo, Logan, and Ryder, I need you to circle around and find a place to lay your hands on Mr. Quinn. They rose to do her bidding, and Jeffy nodded. Ladies, Mom, Bella, Mel, Ray, and Kay, I need you to circle around the men and lay your hands on their shoulders. She nodded. Mrs. Quinn, will you please come stand over here next to me, right behind him, and then wrap your arm around him to rest right here on his chest? Yes, like that. Good. Jeffy joined Mrs. Quinn and began to pray. Father, we are grateful for this man, Alo Quinn. He is a precious child of God, a precious servant of yours, and he is ready to do your will in all things. I saw what you showed me, and the message you gave me for Mr. Quinn is that it is time to go out of that window. The window becomes a door, and it is time for you to walk through it. Dad, speak. It's your time to speak. Eric Kino drew a deep breath. In the name of the Father, the Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, Alo Quinn, rise and walk. Everyone standing around the circle gasped. Jeffy moved away and nodded at the others. Step back, everyone. Eric locked eyes with Alo. He smiled and nodded. Alo's eyes filled with tears. He moved his legs off the footrest. Danny Quinn's mouth fell open. Alo pushed his hands against the armrests and stood on his feet. Eric nodded again, encouraging him. No fear, Eric said. Alo took a step. Dear Lord Jesus, Raylin whispered. He took another. Eric backed up and held his hands out to catch him if he fell. He took another and another, and he followed Eric all the way across the large room. Most everyone was wiping tears from their faces. Go back to your chair, Eric said softly. Alo turned slowly and headed back to his chair. He turned again and slowly lowered himself back into the wheelchair. Shelley glanced down at the children. They were silently watching, their little faces glowing. Danny threw her arms around her husband. Alo, what is going on? Raylin and Kaylee both approached and hugged their father, and Jeffy smiled and sighed with pleasure. When I read him, Jesus showed me the problems. He told me that he would connect the nerve endings that had been severed. He told me what had severed them was fear. Fear is powerful, but the fear in Alo Quinn is now defeated. First, he reached out the window, and then he came all the way to California, and soon he will travel to many places. He is free. Well, this is a flat-out miracle, Kaylee said. Did you plan this ahead of time? Raylan asked. Jeffy shook her head. No. Why? Well, how did Grandmaster Kino know what to say? Jeffy sighed. Dad? Eric smiled. Well, the words came into my head very clearly. I was almost reluctant to say them, because what if I said it and it didn't happen? But Jesus told me for me to have no fear and to trust him. And I had to show him that I trust him. And so I said the words. Well, thank you, Jesus, Shelley said quickly. Everyone murmured an amen. Mr. Quinn, Jeffy asked, how do you feel? He cleared his throat. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm full of gratitude. He smiled. And I want to do it again to make sure it wasn't just a fluke. The group chuckled. Well, do it again, Jeffy said. You'll see. But then rest, because the muscles need time to get used to walking again. Well, if God just healed him, Ryder asked, can't he just make the muscles strong again, too? Eric smiled. He could, yes. But there has to be some effort from Mr. Quinn. What good would that do him? That's the way it works. If God did everything for us, we would never get strong. Ryder nodded in understanding. What an amazing afternoon, Bella said softly. I feel so blessed that I was able to witness this. Me too, Raylene said. I am so grateful. JoJo put his arm around her. Me too. Raylene smiled up at the guy who'd come into her life and changed it so completely. It looked like it might be an amazing year. She turned to him. If you hadn't saved Kaylee, I would have never met you, but you did, and I did meet you, and you introduced me to your family, and Dr. Kino sent us home for Christmas, and we found my father was one of the 12, and now he can walk. It is crazy. It is overwhelming. Well, God's plans are intricate and amazing, JoJo said. They are, Logan said, and when we see things come together like this, it's such a testimony. It's such a blessing that we could witness this. Melody took his hand and squeezed it. I can't wait to tell my family. Well, I too am overwhelmed, Mark said, but I just remembered that we're expected to go to Jules' opening for dinner in a few hours. Are you all still planning on going? They all nodded. Ryder's phone rang and he glanced at the caller ID and he frowned. Sorry, I have to take this, he said as he hurried away. Well, Eric said, why don't we all get some rest? My kids have to go down for a nap. Let's be ready to leave here about 5. How does that sound? That sounds wonderful, Danny said. Alo stood again. I'd like to try to walk to the bedroom. Danny nodded. I'll follow along behind you with the wheelchair, just in case. She turned to the others in the room. I don't feel like we can just leave this meeting and just walk to our room. I mean, that's the point. We can. But would it be okay if we could have a prayer of thanks first? Eric nodded. Well said, Danny. Alo, would you like to pray? He smiled. Oh, I would indeed. Everyone bowed their heads as Alo took a few minutes to pour out his gratitude for the amazing gift of healing. And then the group watched as Alo and Danny headed toward the hall and led past Eric's study to the one bedroom on the ground floor that had once been the housekeeper's room. Jeffy smiled. Thank you, Jesus, she whispered. New scene. Sort of. Ryder stepped outside onto the Kino's large deck, his phone to his ear. Hey, Naomi, is everything okay? She sniffed. No, Ryder, everything is not okay. Listen, could you come and get the girls for me? Get the girls? What do you mean? I mean, just come and pick them up and take care of them, like babysit for the night. Ryder sighed. I mean, yes, I can do that, but why? What's going on? Your father is drinking and he's mad and he just left to go get more beer. And I know him, Ryder. I know he's going to get violent, and I'm afraid for the girls, and I don't want him to hurt them, and I don't want them to see him hurt me. Well, of course I'll come, but what's he so mad about? Some guy is saying that Aaron messed up his car. He said the oil all drained out because Aaron failed to tighten the drain plug properly. He says he's going to sue. Ryder, please come. Okay, I'm coming right now, but I'm farther away right now. I'm over at the Kino's. It will take me at least 20 minutes to get there. Oh, okay, listen, then I'm going to take the girls over to May's house. Do you remember May? Yeah, she lives 2 doors down across the street, right? Yes, please go there and pick them up. Okay, I will. But Naomi, did the agent who installed the cameras, did he give you his card? Yes. Call him. I'm afraid to. He'll come and Aaron will pull a gun on him. A gun? Since when did my dad get a gun? He bragged that he stole it out of some guy's car. It was under the seat and Aaron took it. Ryder, I don't have time to talk to you right now. I have to get the kids over to May. Ryder nodded his head. Okay, I'm on my way. He ended the call and hurried inside. Everything okay? JoJo asked. Ryder shook his head. I need to leave. I have to go pick up my sisters. JoJo glanced over at his father, who was on the phone. So there's trouble brewing at your father's house? Ryder nodded yes. I guess it's a good thing I brought my car. JoJo frowned. Maybe, but I'm thinking I'm going to go with you. Tell me what's happening. Ryder nodded. You can come if you want, but I have to go right now. I'll tell you what's going on while I drive. JoJo nodded. Ray, I have to leave for a bit. You okay with that? Sure. Anything I can do to help? Yes. Tell my dad when he gets off of the phone that I went with Ryder to pick up his sisters. Got it. JoJo and Ryder took off. New scene. Naomi Bell made it back to the house after delivering the girls to the neighbor and headed into the bedroom. Grabbing a gym bag, she stuffed some clothes and underwear into it and then looked into her purse to make sure she had her wallet and then stuffed the entire purse into the bag, zipped it closed, took it out and put it in the back seat of her car. Patting her front pocket to make sure she had her keys and her back pocket to make sure she had her phone, she glanced over at May's house. Ryder wasn't there yet. Hopefully he would be soon. She headed back inside and went to the kitchen to make something for Aaron to eat, hoping he might calm down with some food in his stomach. She heard the car drive up and was both relieved and disappointed. Relieved that he drove and didn't have an accident and kill someone. Disappointed that he didn't get pulled over and arrested for DUI. Bracing for the moment he came in the door, she gripped the counter. The front door slammed open so hard, the doorknob made a hole in the sheetrock behind the door. Aaron Bell let go a sling of ugly curses and then screamed at his wife. Naomi, get your ugly, self-righteous face in here. Her eyes welled with tears, not because he called her ugly, but because of fear. She poked her head out of the small kitchen. Aaron, I'm in here making you something to eat. He stormed toward her. Did I tell you to make me something to eat? Grabbing her by her upper arms, he shook her. Huh? He yelled. She shook her head. No, I just thought you might like some dinner. What I'd like is to bash your face in. Where are those ugly brats of yours, huh? Why are they so quiet? Her eyes opened wide. She hadn't thought he would actually ask her where the kids were. He usually didn't want anything to do with them, and he never asked for them. She swallowed hard. They had a play date with a friend from the nursery, she lied. He shook her hard. So you think you can just let my children go off to who knows where? Naomi whimpered. He shook her again and then started dragging her toward the bedroom. She did all she knew to do. She kneed him. He fell to the floor groaning. Trying to run to the door, she tripped over him and scrambled to her feet. He was on his feet too quickly, though, and grabbed her by the hair and jerked her back away from the door, turned her around and struck her across the face. Naomi hit the floor face first. Moaning, she rolled over and started to sit up, but he stomped on her stomach with his large, greasy boot, and she curled up in a ball. His next intention was to kneel, cross her, and beat her to a bloody pulp, but he didn't get the chance, because a man dressed in black had him in a headlock and jerked him off of Naomi. Another man slammed him face down on the floor, and he was cuffed as he screamed obscenities. Next thing Aaron knew, a police officer was reading him his rights. New scene. Ryder was driving like a bat out of hell. He slowed when he turned the corner and drove cautiously past his father's house. There were police cars and flashing lights and an ambulance. JoJo looked the scene over. Looks like we're too late, JoJo said. Ryder pulled his car into May's driveway. He and JoJo got out of the car and Ryder immediately started across the street. Wait for me, JoJo said and hurried after him. They were stopped at the sidewalk that led to the front door. Sorry, but you can't go in. Ryder looked at the police officer. JoJo looked past him to a man in black with an eagle insignia on the breast pocket of his jacket. Agent? The man turned. Yes? I'm JoJo Adams. I'm Chief Adams, is my uncle. Yes, JoJo, I recognize you. He held out his hand. I'm Agent Hunt. It's nice to meet you, Agent Hunt. So, this is my friend, actually my foster brother, and this is his parents' home. What's your name, son? Ryder Bell, sir. Is Naomi okay? She's my stepmother. She called me. Did he hurt her? The agent sighed and nodded. Yeah, she's been hurt, but she's alive, and she will be okay. How badly is she hurt? I'm not sure. They asked me to step outside for her privacy. Your father slapped her around and stomped on her abdomen, and she's bleeding. She says she may have been pregnant. Ryder drew a sharp breath and shook his head, looked down, and then looked back up. Where's my father? He's been arrested and is currently sitting inside that police vehicle, he said, pointing to a squad car. Ryder started toward the car, but both the agent and JoJo grabbed him. Hold on there, son, Agent Hunt said quickly. I just want to see him. I just want to show him that I'm still alive. I want to show him that he didn't defeat me. Please, I won't even open the door. Let me just see him through the window. Please, I need this. JoJo let go and stood back and looked over at Agent Hunt. Sir, I promise I won't let him open the door. The agent nodded. He let go of Ryder and watched him and JoJo approach the car, his body tense and ready, just in case. Ryder looked around to make sure no cops were going to stop him. The few he saw were busy, one talking on the phone, another writing something on a clipboard. Ryder neared the car, bent slightly, and stared into the back window. The man inside turned his head slowly and looked at him. Ryder waited to see the recognition in his eyes. His eyes opened wider, and Ryder smiled, and he nodded his head. You see me, don't you? He said softly at first. You see me, he said louder. Yeah, it's me, Dad. It's me. You didn't defeat me. You see that? You didn't defeat me. I'm stronger now, Dad, and you can't hurt me anymore. And I won't let you hurt Naomi anymore. You got it? Do you see? He yelled and hit the window with his fist. You can't hit me anymore, he screamed. The cops ran toward him, but JoJo pulled Ryder away. Ryder tried to pull away from him and lunge at the window again, but the cops grabbed him, and Agent Hunt was there, though. I've got him, Agent Hunt said quietly, and the cops released him. JoJo put his hands on either side of Ryder's face and got him to calm down and look him in the eyes. You're right, Ryder. He can't hurt you anymore. He can't as long as you don't lower yourself to his level. So rise up, brother. Rise up, rise above, and let go, and forgive. Ryder looked JoJo deep in the eyes, his chest heaving with his breaths, and finally he began to calm, and he nodded his head. His eyes filled and spilled over. JoJo wrapped his arms around Ryder's shoulders and hugged him hard, and Ryder sobbed on JoJo's shoulder. When he got himself together, he raised his head, he sniffed, he wiped away his tears, and he drew a deep breath. JoJo smiled at him. You got this? Ryder nodded. I got it. Thanks, JoJo. I got you, brother. So, Ryder, they're bringing Mrs. Bell out, Agent Hunt said. Would you like to speak to her? Ryder nodded. Yes, please. Follow me. They followed Agent Hunt to the stretcher where they were about to lift her up into the ambulance. Agent Hunt stopped the paramedic. Mrs. Bell, your stepson is here. Naomi nodded. Ryder? I'm here, he said as he stepped closer. He took her outstretched hand. Did you get the girls? She asked. No, but I'm about to. Are you okay? I think so. Are you the one who called the police? He shook his head. It was Ameritech, Agent Hunt said from behind. You know we were monitoring your situation, right? And when things went south, we moved in. We don't just watch and hope he doesn't kill you. Ryder nodded. I didn't know how you worked exactly. Naomi said she didn't want to call you because she was afraid that my dad would shoot you. I should have known, though, that you guys would do the right thing and step in. Agent Hunt nodded. Yeah, we try to always do the right thing. And we're not afraid of someone pulling a gun because we're stronger, faster, and very skilled. So don't ever be afraid to call us. He smiled. We'll be in touch with you, Mrs. Bell. For now, you just heal. She nodded. I'll bring the girls to see you tomorrow, Ryder said. She sniffed. Thank you. Naomi, can I call your sister for you? She nodded and smiled. My purse is in my gym bag in the car. My keys are on the floor in the house. My phone, too. Her number is in the phone. Callie's birthday is the code. And yes, please call my sister. Thank you, Ryder. Oh, and tell May thanks for taking the girls. He squeezed her hand and offered a reassuring smile, and the paramedics lifted her up into the back of the ambulance. Once they pulled away, Ryder turned to the agent. So, is there anything I need to do for you or to tell you about? Not at this time. Chief Davis will be in touch with you and we'll talk about all the charges we intend to press. For now, go get your sisters. JoJo put his hand on Ryder's shoulder. Yeah, let's go get the girls. They shook Agent Hunt's hand and headed back across the street. Ryder knocked on the door and May answered. Ryder? Yes, ma'am. Oh, you've grown up. He nodded with a slight smile. Yes, ma'am. She motioned across the street. Well, that was quite a spectacle. Unfortunately. Thank you for taking care of Callie and Ellie. No problem. Come in. Ryder glanced over his shoulder at JoJo. May, this is my good friend, JoJo Adams. JoJo nodded and smiled. Hello. She nodded. JoJo Adams, why does that sound familiar? Well, he was the USC quarterback for the past 3 years and a Heisman candidate. JoJo Adams? Asked a deep voice from inside. May turned around to see her husband smiling and approaching the door. You know him? Well, not personally, sweetheart, but everyone knows JoJo Adams. He offered his hand to JoJo. Name's Bill. JoJo smiled and shook his hand. Hello, sir. Come in, he said jovially. Frowning, JoJo nodded at Ryder to go on in, and he followed him. So, Ryder, Bill began, nice to see you again. I told May I thought you were long gone. Ryder nodded. No, sir, I stuck around. I've been pretty worried about my sisters and Naomi. Well, with good reason, May put in quickly. Yes, ma'am. So, Naomi wanted me to tell you thanks so much for looking after the girls, and unfortunately, I'm in a bit of a time crunch. Oh, well, you're welcome. They're back in the den watching a movie. I didn't want them to see what was going on across the street. Ryder nodded. Well, thank you. So, Ryder, how do you know JoJo? Bill asked. Ryder shifted uncomfortably, and JoJo jumped in. We ran into each other just before Christmas at a charity event and got to talking, and I found out he was thinking about changing locations, and I invited him to spend Christmas with our family. And now he's like one of the family. We were having lunch with my grandparents when Mrs. Bell called and asked Ryder to come get the girls, and I decided to come along for the ride. But we promised my grandparents we'd be right back because we're going to a big restaurant opening for a good friend of my aunt and uncle. Your aunt and uncle, you wouldn't happen to be talking about Ricky Keno and Brianna Adams? Yes, sir, and I don't want to keep them waiting. Oh, I didn't realize the connection, May said suddenly. Oh, my, Ryder, what great connections you've made. Well, actually, our family thinks me meeting Ryder is a great connection, JoJo said with a smile. Ryder rolled his eyes. JoJo was such a player and always seemed to know the right things to say. He had a quick mind. Ryder, why don't you go on back and get the girls, May said. He nodded. Okay, but, so, like, it's been a while since I've seen them, and I'm not sure if they'll remember me. I might need your help to convince them to come with me. She nodded. Well, let's go see. JoJo stayed in the small living room, chatting football with Bill. Ryder peeked into the den, and 4-year-old Ellie looked up at him, her eyes opened wide. Ryder? He smiled and knelt down and opened his arms, and she scrambled off the sofa and ran to him. He hugged her to his chest, his eyes filling. It was a relief to know she remembered him. Hi, Ellie Belly, he said softly. I sure did miss you. I missed you too, Ryder, she said, her little voice choking with emotion. She laid her head on his shoulder. Oh, sweetie, he murmured as he hugged her and patted her back. There now, I'm here. While this was going on, little 2-year-old Callie was working her way down off the sofa too. Smiling, she toddled over to him, and he quickly set Ellie down and smiled at her. Well, hello there, Callie. Do you remember me? He asked softly. She didn't answer, but reached her hands up for him to pick her up, which he did immediately. May smiled. Well, Ryder, it looks like they remember you. I don't know how Callie could. She was only 1 when I left. Well, maybe she remembers, like, the essence of you. Someone familiar. He nodded and turned back to the girls. He cuddled Callie against his chest, and he nodded at Ellie. So, how would you girls like to go for a ride with me? We're going to go see some other children, a whole bunch of them, and we're going to go to a restaurant and get something good to eat. I want to go, Ellie said. He smiled. Good. Let's get your coats and your things, and I'll go get your car seats into the car. JoJo chatted with Bill while Ryder and May went to the house and found Naomi's keys and phone and locked up the house and retrieved the gym bag and the car seats. 15 minutes later, the girls and Ryder and JoJo were driving along the Pack Coast Highway, headed to the Kino estate. Ryder glanced at JoJo. So, does it bother you that people treat you differently because you're famous or because your family is famous? JoJo shrugged. Oh, I've learned to live with the situation. It can hinder sometimes. People are shallow and they're nice to me just because of mine or my family's fame. But it can also help a situation too, so I don't complain. I try very hard to teach through example, so I stay humble and I try to help people understand that being famous doesn't make me better or more special than anyone else. Well, it kind of helped today, Ryder said, when you let them know we had famous people waiting on us. JoJo chuckled. Yeah, that was good. So, see, it helped the situation, but I only used the superpower for good. Ryder smiled because he actually thought of JoJo and his whole family as superheroes. JoJo smiled. It used to be a real issue. I mean, because of girls. Girls? Yeah, until Raylyn, I never met a girl that didn't like me because of my family. Logan had the same problem. So Raylyn didn't know who you were? Actually, she did, but we met because of Kaylee. When I saw her being beaten to death in a car in the school parking lot, I called Raylyn from the hospital to tell her about her sister being attacked, and she thought I was playing a joke on her for Kaylee. She'd always been a fan of mine, apparently, and thought Kaylee was pranking her, and she hung up on me. Ryder chuckled. But I called her back and let her know that Kaylee was really hurt, and it was no joke, and she was totally humiliated, embarrassed, and she couldn't stop apologizing. And when I met her, she knocked me off my feet. You've seen her. She's a knockout. Ryder nodded. For sure. Her and Kaylee both. JoJo nodded. And then I got to know her, and she was so much more than beautiful. She was like the sweetest, kindest, humblest, smartest hardest working girl I've ever known. She's been impressed by my football skills, yeah, and she loves football, but when I met her, my football career was over. I could tell she actually liked me for me. She was down to earth and just so sweet. You already said that, Ryder snarked. JoJo grinned and shrugged. He turned and smiled at the two girls in the back seat. Your sisters are really cute. Ryder nodded. I'm just glad they remember me. I'm glad there wasn't a big scene of tears and fits being thrown. Yeah, me too. So how old was your other sister the last time you saw her? I forgot. Ryder frowned. I was 10. Stephanie was 2. So that means she's 11 now. I bet she doesn't even know she has a brother. Well, that's sad, Ryder. We got to fix that. Maybe it's better to let sleeping dogs lie. JoJo frowned. In Ephesians 5:11, it says, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. And in John, it says, the truth will set you free. It seems to me that your sister might want to know the truth. I know I would want to know if I had an older brother or sister that my father didn't tell me about. My family believes that it's always better to know the truth, even if it's painful. It's a road that must be walked. Ryder smiled. Sometimes I forget how smart and insightful you are, and then I hear you preach, and I remember. JoJo smiled. Well, thank you, Ryder, for a great compliment. I think that's what I want to do. You want to preach? Yes. I'm already working as a stand-in youth minister, and I love it. I love the kids, but I need to find something to make enough money to support a wife and kids. Oh, are you saying you're going to marry Raylyn? JoJo smiled. Well, I don't want to jump the gun, but she makes me think about it. I've only known her a little over a month, but Lord have mercy, I'm in love with that girl. Have you told her? No, not yet. Like I said, it's too early, and I really need to get my own life into some kind of order. And if you hadn't gotten hurt, you'd be making millions playing pro, right? JoJo nodded. Probably. But the money is not what's important. It is when you don't have any. JoJo looked him over. I get it. Though I'm blessed because I know that I won't end up homeless. And from now on, bro, by the way, neither will you, no matter what. Because we are your family now. My father is your father now. You have a safety net. We won't let you fall as long as... Ryder glanced over at him. As long as what? Go ahead and say what you were going to say. JoJo frowned. Sorry, I should have stopped at we won't let you fall. What I was going to say after that, it's not really my place to say it. Well, whose place is it then? It's Dad's place, probably. Okay. But go ahead anyway and just tell me what he would say. JoJo sighed. Well, he would say, as long as you walk a straight line. Oh, you mean like no mistakes? No, because we all make mistakes. I think he'd be talking about willfully making a wrong choice. I mean, like, if you decide to rob a bank or something, then, like, you're on your own. Ryder chuckled. Man, you're no fun. JoJo smiled. Well, I know you're just joking around, but really, serving the Lord is lots of fun. It's fulfilling, it's rewarding, and it will give you true joy. Not the joy that comes from having a multi-million-dollar football contract, but the joy of having God on your side. When you're doing His will for you, you cannot go wrong, and He knows the things that will bring you true, real, unshakable joy. Ryder smiled. What? JoJo asked. Well, I now know why your teammates call you Preach. JoJo laughed. Yep, I can't help it. It just pops out of my mouth. Well, then you might be right, JoJo. I mean, that just might be your calling, or one of them anyway. New scene. It is still January 18th, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Saturday evening. Keno Estate, Crystal Cove, California. Ryder and JoJo arrived back at the Keno home. Ryder was worried about the girls feeling sad or shy or out of place, but it turned out much differently. They came into the house and little Emily Adams was just coming downstairs. She was all dressed up for their trip to the new restaurant. Ryder ushered Ellie inside and was carrying Callie, and he was helping them take their coats off as Emily approached. Hello, Emily said sweetly to Ellie. Hi, Ellie replied softly. My name is Emily, but everyone calls me Em. What's your name? Ellie smiled. My name is Alina, but everyone calls me Ellie. Em smiled. Ellie, that's a pretty name. Is that your sister? She asked, pointing at little Callie as Ryder set her down and took off her coat. Ellie nodded. Yes, her name is Kalina, but we call her Callie. Emily smiled at the young girl. Hi, Callie. Callie looked down for just a minute, then back up with a smile. How old are you, Callie? Em asked. She held up 2 fingers. Oh, so is Angelina and her brothers. JoJo spoke softly to Ryder. I just realized, did you pack up some dressy stuff for the girls? Ryder sighed. I grabbed everything I could, which wasn't much, but I didn't see anything dressy. Well, let me run upstairs and see if Mom brought anything extra for Em. JoJo ran upstairs. Hey, Grandma, he said as Shelley came out of the children's room. Hey, kiddos, he said to the 5 children behind her. Hi, JoJo, the children called. Where are you headed to so fast? Shelley asked. I was going to go ask Mom if she had an extra dress for Ryder's little sister, Ellie. And then I was going to ask you if you had one for her little sister, Callie. Oh, well, I'm sure I do, but I doubt that your mom brought 2 dresses for Em. How old is Ellie? She's 4 and Callie is 2. Shelley nodded. Well, I am sure we can find what we need in Angel's closet. Even for Ellie? Yes, because when I see something I like, I buy it larger, get Ryder to bring up the girls, and we'll get them all dressed. JoJo turned and headed back down and delivered the news and added, I'm going to go get cleaned up. Boys, Shelley said, go down to the den and please put away the crayons you used earlier. Can we have a snack? Manny asked. No, sir, because we're getting ready to go have some dinner. The boys headed down. They smiled and waved at the newcomers coming up the stairs with Ryder. Guys, these are my sisters, Ryder said. This is Callie and Ellie. Hi, Noah said quickly. Ellie smiled. The boys continued down and Ryder went upstairs with the girls. Hey, Miss Shelley. Hello, Ryder. And who do we have here? She knelt down. Oh, look at these pretty girls. Hi. My name is Miss Shelley, and this is Angelina. She's 2, just like you, Shelley said, pointing at the younger girl. Callie smiled. Well, your brother Ryder and all of us are getting ready to go to a really nice restaurant to eat some really yummy food, and we have to get all dressed up. And guess what? I have 2 really pretty dresses for you girls to put on to wear to the restaurant. Do you like pretty dresses? Ellie nodded. I do. I have a pink dress. Oh, my goodness, you are kidding. Because the dress I have for you is pink. How awesome is that? Okay, so you sweet girls come in here with me, and we'll get you all fixed up. Shelley stood and smiled at Ryder. I'll take it from here, sweetie. You need to go get changed, too. Ryder smiled. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your help. Oh, it's my pleasure, but I'm sure you already know that. Ryder chuckled. He really loved Miss Shelley. It made him wonder about his own grandmothers. He had 3 of them, his father's mother, his mother's mother, and Naomi's mother, and he actually didn't know any of them. He might have to check that out. At the same time, in his study, Eric Kino and Alo Quinn sat together with great anticipation. While Alo had rested, Eric had sent an email to the contact from Norway who'd reached out to Alo. And Eric checked to see if the man had answered a few minutes ago and was surprised that there was indeed an answer inviting them to call him. And Eric had quickly knocked on the Quinn's door and told Alo, and they now sat in Eric's study as they waited for the man to answer his phone. His name was Henrik Johansson. He was a Vindergand school teacher, which is a high school teacher. In Norway, it was currently 1:30 in the morning. But the man had been awake, working on writing a book, and when he checked his email before retiring, he answered right away. He'd said he certainly would be unable to sleep due to his excitement on hearing from Alo and finding that he was together with Eric Kino, whose book Henrik had just read a few weeks earlier. He asked him to call as soon as they see the email, no matter what time. They were now honoring his request. "Hello," Henrik said quickly and loudly. Eric smiled. "Henrik, hello. This is Eric Kino, and I have sitting here with me Alo Quinn. You're on speaker, so we can both hear you." Hello. It's so exciting to hear from you," Henrik said. "We feel the same way. I hope English is okay, as Norwegian is not one of my languages." "Oh, yes, English is fine. I am an English teacher." "Oh, well, that is wonderful," Eric said, smiling. "Henrik, we have so much we want to talk to you about, but Alo and I are in a bit of time crunch. We only have about 30 minutes currently." "I understand. So, Henrik, Alo said you reached out to him because you had a story similar to his. Can you tell us similar in what way?" "Oh, yes, I was 10 years old. I, too, was missing for 3 days. I, too, saw an angel who spoke to me about God the Father and his Son, Jesus Christ. God is real. Jesus really was born, the only begotten Son of the Father, died on the cross for us, was resurrected and ascended into heaven. I, too, was told I had a mission to teach the world, and I have always wondered if there was more like me. When I heard the video Alo made, I had to reach out. The same day I reached out to him, I came upon your book online, Eric, and I ordered it immediately. I am completely in awe, inspired, and excited. So much so that I'm now writing my own book about my life experiences, which is why I was up so late tonight." "I am completely delighted," Alo said. "Who is speaking?" Henrik asked. "Oh, that was Alo Quinn," Eric said. "Perhaps next time we should try to make this a video call." "Oh, yes, let's do. The 2 of us sound very much alike." The 2 of you sound very much alike," Eric smiled. "Henrik, do you think you might have time," Alo began, "to give us a short version of your experience?" Short version. "Well, I went with a friend's family to go cross-country snow skiing. While we were out, there was an avalanche. I was swept away. Thank goodness the others were safe. It seemed I was very deep in the snow. I actually couldn't figure out which way was up or down. I was terrified and panicked and desperately trying to get out. I couldn't breathe. Then I thought I felt someone digging me out, but it wasn't a person. It was a wolf, a beautiful white wolf with large blue eyes. I think of him as an angel, too." He chuckled. "Well, now, that is a beautiful thing," Alo said. "Oh, it was indeed. He dug me out just enough so I could move and then ran away. I was still in deep ditch, though, and wasn't sure how to get up out of the ditch, and in trying, I slipped and fell and slid down a very steep hill. The ice was sharp, and I was all cut up. I remember marveling at how bright the blood was on the snow. And then as I tried to get to my feet, the bottom gave out from under me, and I fell another 20 feet or so. I was in an ice cave, and there was no way out. I knew I was going to die there. I was so scared. I cried and cried. My mind went through all the things that both of you described, fear, remorse, and finally a letting go. And like you, only after I accepted my own death and looked forward to seeing God, which took me 3 days, only then did my angel appear to me. He gave me water that warmed me and made me feel so good and energetic. He was so kind. He told me I had a mission. He instructed me to live nobly, to be exemplary in every single thing I did, to honor my parents, to take good care of my sisters and brother. I was the oldest of 4. I was told that I will have the opportunity to teach about God, and therefore I must learn as much as possible. Read the Bible, do study courses, but to also have discernment. I was told to take everything, every question to God. Learn directly from Him. Bible scholars who act like they know and understand it all are like the Pharisees. Be very careful and do not be deceived. And I've done that. I've prayed about you, Alo, and also about you, Eric, and Jesus was very pleased that I had found you. I was filled with the Holy Spirit when I asked about you, so I reached out immediately. Well, we are so glad that you did, Eric said. I have recently, over just the past few weeks, discovered that there are 12 of us. We only know of 6 thus far, but I have a feeling we'll find the others soon. 12? Amazing. And you found 6? Wonderful. I want to know them all. And after you find 12, then what? Enrique asked. Eric smiled. Well, now, that is the million-dollar question, huh? God doesn't illuminate the whole path. He only shines a light on the one space in front of our feet. So right now, the mission is simply to find the others. And how do you think we should do that? Eric nodded. Well, I think prayer first. God will place the people in front of us. I don't want to advertise our search because they may bring on a slew of false reports. So let's leave this at Jesus' feet and trust Him. I totally agree, both Alo and Enrique said at the same time. I'm very excited to have a longer conversation with each of you, Enrique added. This has made my day, my year even, Eric chuckled. Well, seeing as the year just began, it's a good start. Maybe we can keep it going. Eric, before we hang up, can you put me in touch with the other 3 that you already know of? I can do that, but not before we hang up. Let me speak with them first to make sure it's okay to share their information. I would like to actually set up a video call with all of you. The time will probably be inconvenient for some of us because we have Norway and Australia and 4 here in the U.S. Inconvenience does not matter to me, Enrique said. And me neither, Eric replied. Probably the only one so far that might have trouble with it is Reverend Clark, and that is only because he's 92 years old and not as robust as the rest. So, Enrique, may I ask your age? Yes, I'm 72. And you? I'm 70. And Ado here is 83, but a very healthy 83. Tom is 78, and Cess is 75. So far, Grandmaster Kino, you are the baby. Eric chuckled. And I have missed putting a scripture at the end of this chapter, so I will have to remedy that. So let's just throw one in there. One easy, we'll just say John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever should believe in Him will not perish, but have everlasting life. And we're done with chapter 15. See you on the flip side.